Welcome everyone, it's Neil here from 3D Tudor, back today with another fantastic geometry node, and this time we're actually looking at smoke. And I know, as well as probably most of you out there, how hard smoke is to get right, either through using a particle system or a simulation. So what we decided to do here over at 3D Tudor is create an actual geometry node that is lightweight and easy to use, designed for smoke. So let me show you what we've got set up here. So first of all, we've got our train. If I move over here, press the space bar, you can see we've got some smoke coming out there. And best of all, this actually follows the direction of the train as well. In other words, you can actually animate this smoke. You can also see within here, we've got quite a stylized look of this smoke. So obviously this smoke look will be determined by the actual material or the shader. Now let's come down to our chimney. So you can see here, chimney smoke coming out of here. We've also got one with sewer pipes. So over here, you'll see we've got sewer pipes with the actual steam coming off there. It's going to be a little bit slow because it's in my viewport, but you can actually get an idea of what that's going to look like. And finally, we have an actual pool here where we've actually put some smoke on there, which is just kind of rising up like a jacuzzi or something like that. All right, so with all that said, let me get started and actually show you just how easy this is to use. So first of all, I'm going to come over to the center of my viewport, press Shift A, I'm going to bring in a plane. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's press Control A, reset all the transforms. So set origin to geometry. And now all we need to do is one click and then we've got smoke. So let's come over to add modifier. We're going to bring in a geometry node. And the one we're going to bring in is going to be 3D Tudor smoke and steam. So this one here, like so. And straight away now you can actually see that we've got smoke. And best of all, you can actually see that it is based on this actual plane. In other words, wherever you want to bring the smoke in, just create the actual object. You can put it on primitives or 2D planes. It doesn't really matter. You can put them on wherever you want. And now what you can see is we've got a load of lists down here. So let me bring this up. And you can see the first one we've got is hide mesh. So, you know, you can hide the mesh out the way or show it so you can actually see what you're actually doing. Now, to speed things up a little bit, let's go over to our material view and then we can actually see what we're doing. All right, so first of all, then we've got the density. Now, if I press spacebar now, you'll see it rising up. Now, what I can actually do is bring this density down, let's say to 0, and you'll see that actually in real time, this density actually comes down. What that also enables you to do, of course, is animate it. Now, if you want to animate it where it's actually got a movement type, we've also made it so it emits always, or you can actually do it in full. So I'll show you that now, but let's first of all put this back on 1. So first of all, you've got one that says lifetime. Now, lifetime basically just makes it so that you can have your smoke going as long as you want, basically. So if I put this on 5, for instance, you will see it takes a little bit of time. But what happens is, once that actually starts going is, this now will start rising up above here. So let me also turn up, there we go. So now it starts rising up, as you can see, because we've turned the lifetime. We've also got the lifetime randomness. Some particles will last a lot longer than the other ones, but you can see now just how high that is rising up. Now, of course, this is a plane. It's a big and chunky. You know, you're not really going to have smoke like this, but you get the idea of what we're trying to do here. All right, so next of all then, we've got emit. So basically we can have it always, or we can have it at intervals. And the best thing is with this is the fact that we can change when it comes on and when it goes off. So if I come in, put it onto object mode, press the space bar, now you can see it rising up and we've got our intermissions on. So you'll see now it's intermitting between them. As you can see, it's going to wait a little bit of time. And there you go. So you can actually have, you know, for your steam, or let's say you've got a chimney where you want to puff it out, or like a train that's going around. You can absolutely do that with this. We can also obviously change how fast that's going on and off just through these options here. All right, so next of all then, we've got our movement type. So we've got normal and custom. So this basically means whether it's just going to come out the old object or whether it's just going to come out which way the normals are facing. So you can absolutely use that in a really nice way. And next of all, then we've got the direction of the smoke. So you can see the start speed at the moment. Let's turn this up to something like 20. And then you'll see now once that actually starts, it's going to be much, much faster, as you can see. We've still got the intermissions on. But best of all as well is we can also change the direction. So let's change this to something like 5. Wait for it to catch up. And there you go. You've got fog or smoke trailing across the floor. Let's bring it down a little bit. So let's put it on something like 0.6. And now you can see it's going to be trailing in the air exactly the direction that we wanted it. All right, so moving on then, we've got the start speed as we already talked about. We've got a direction randomness. If you put this on 2, it's going to be basically going up, everywhere from there. So you'll see that in a minute. So now you can see there's a little bit more direction randomness coming from there. Now what we can also do is a deceleration factor. In other words, it can get to a certain point and then it can start slowing down. So if I turn this up, you'll see in just 1 second, you can see now it starts decelerating. And you've got a lot of control over that smoke movement. So you can see now it's kind of hanging in the air. So you can really actually mess around and get some really, really great things for whatever you need. It could be something like clouds. It could be something, as I said, like a fog rolling across a cemetery or something like that. All right, so let's pause that. The other great thing what you can do is, as I said, you can also animate all of these things. But what you can also do is you can right click and you can also go to reset to default value. And it'll reset exactly to the default value that you had before. Okay, so finally, the last few settings. So we do have scale, so you can see now we can actually scale this up. So let's actually bring these up much, much bigger. And there you go, you can see that we've scaled that up. Let's put it on something like 0.3 instead. And let's also change the direction back. So I'm going to reset to default value, like so. And now you can see that is going intervals. So let's put it on always. And there we go. Now you can see just how small we've turned this actual scale down. You can see the rest of it still stays in real time. And that is there basically so you can animate it. But now you can see exactly what's happening. So you can imagine now this is going to be Steam or something like that. We've also got scale randomness, which is just going to randomize every one of these. And then most importantly, we've actually got a viewport density and a render density. So if I put this on, let's say 0.2. just to make it as optimized and performance light as possible, where you can have it in the viewport much, much less than what you've got it in the actual render. Now, the other thing is we've also put on there a viewport resolution. So we've got a viewport resolution and a render resolution. So these are two different. So how clean do you want the smoke to look? This would be down to this viewport resolution. How thick do you want the smoke to be within the viewport or the render is down to the actual density. So you can see now that smoke's looking much, much nicer. Now, last of all, before I finish, you can also change the material. So at the moment we've got smoke, volume material. We've got a few materials that we've put in here. So you can see now we've got chimney smoke. We've also got one which is, let me just find it, which is my stylized. Let's have a look at the steam. So we've got the steam there, as you can see, which looks like steam. And then we've got the stylized one. Let me just find that one for you. I've got it on the train somewhere. Here we are, smoke 3DT. Smoke stylized, there we go. So we've also got a smoke stylized one as well. Now let me just show you them before finishing. If I delete that, bring in a new one. So what I'll do is I'll bring in, let's say we bring in a sphere. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's press Ctrl A or transform, set origin to geometry. Add in a geometry node, and the one we're going to want is this one here. Press the space bar, and there you go. You can see it comes out from the actual sphere. We can actually hide that as well. So hide our sphere. And there you go. Let's put it onto here so we can actually see what we're doing. And that is where we can actually change the direction and things like this as well. And now we've got this obscure piece here. Let's reset all the transforms. Let's add in a geometry node. And the one we're going to go for is this one, of course. Press the space bar. And there you go. It comes out wherever you actually want it to. So you can imagine you can actually bring this out of the floor of a scene, for instance. Or you can have it rolling down some steps. So like a Halloween scene where you've got some smoke actually rolling down the steps. Really, really easy to do this. So if you ever have a scene where you need actual smoke in it, rather than messing around, with the simulation or the particle systems, this geometry node is going to save you a ton of time. Now, lastly, before I finish, if you come over to the right-hand side, you will see that there is an option called light paths. Now, if you want your volume to look much, much better, make sure that you put this light paths up to something like 30. It's definitely going to take longer to render because volume always takes a long time. But at the end of the day, it's going to look much, much better if you actually put this up to something like 30. All right, everyone. So I hope you really enjoyed that. Last of all, then, we have our brand new membership right here on YouTube. And we're hoping to get all of our courses onto the actual membership for a introductory price of $9.99. Now, in the future, that price might go up, but right now, $9.99. It's going to be 40 courses on there, 800 hours of content. It really is like the Netflix for 3D modeling. So make sure you check that out and come and join our membership. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.